Hey, listen, we got to switch gears. I want to bring in our guy because I want to talk a little Bears football. And I like when all three of us are on. Man, he is the man, the myth, the legend. He is our boy. You can find him on Instagram. He's not an IG. He's not a Twitter guy, so you follow him on IG at Phil_Toshin. Man, let's bring in the wishbone offense, wishbone backfield, the full house backfield, fellas, ladies. Phil Toshin. What's up, Papa? How are you?
There they are.
Get your Holy Cross polo on. I see you, baby. I see you.
little purple.
Yes. Holy Cross, our royalty. That's our colors, baby. That's right. That's right.
Yes. Doing it for you. Actually, my daughter's graduating tonight.
Oh, that's awesome.
Congratulations, man.
Thank
you. Congratulations.
One down,
we
three more to go. One down, three more to go.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. It feels like every weekend's an event, for God's sake, as we get older, you know.
Yeah.
Birthdays, graduations, Mother's Day.
And
Father's Day, we don't get shit on Father's Day. We get
Phil.
Why don't you go grill? Why don't you guys go grill? You like grilling? Go grill. But I gotta take you to a $500 restaurant.
Right.
Exactly. Hallmark ain't putting out movies on Father's Day.
That's the thing. Listen, it's not that, and I make the same joke. It's not that my family doesn't do me right for Father's Day. I think what people we're talking about, just if you look at how big Mother's Day is, Father's Day is like just huff. You know what I'm saying? Like no one that the market really doesn't care about Father's Day in general.
Yeah. Mother's Day is like Jason Voorhees. It's just every corner you're looking, you might get kicked with flowers. Father's Day is like that B horror movie. It's like, all right. They're spraying ketchup at cameras on Father's Day. I don't get nothing there.
Oh man! Hey, so let's talk about the 800-pound elephant in the room, man. It got done. The deal got done, and it wasn't. It shouldn't have been a hard deal to get done because it's all slotted, and a few percentages higher than whoever was in the 11 slot last year, so that's fine. But regardless, it got done. So Justin Fields is now officially a Chicago Bear. He's under contract, 4 years, 18 plus, 11 plus is the signing bonus. So technically, because you get your signing bonus like boom right here, and then his salary, the other 7 prorated over the 4 years or whatever, how they would work it. Technically, he's making more than Andy Dalton.
Right. He is.
He's got 18 large ones in his hands. Like boom. We going car shopping, mama.
I hope not. I hope he's not. That money isn't burning a hole in his pocket just yet.
No, I hope not. So talk to me, Phil. And you know what? And you too, Kenneth, because I think you cover the Bears. I think, right?
A little bit.
11 million he got just to sign his name. So
yeah, 11 million, and the other is prorated. But how important? Talk about how important it is to get this done. And now, we always talk about windows with our White Sox. The window's wide open. The window was open in 15. Now this window with the Bears and the timer or the hourglass is now ticking. Tell us why it's so important to get that done because of his rookie deal.
Yeah, when you have a defense like the Chicago Bears where they've invested so much on that side of the football in regards to Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, Eddie Jackson, the highest paid safety. So you got 2 of the highest paid defensive players in the game, and Mack and Jackson.
Somebody called. Is that your wife calling again?
My wife's blowing up my phone. I don't know if you can hear. Jeez. She's heard me talking about Father's Day.
Father's Day.
So yeah, I was saying that you got a high payroll on defense. If you can get, it's like a seesaw. If you can get that quarterback low, which would be the highest paid, that gives you and awards you an opportunity to continue to build in where you're strongest on that defensive side of the football, and to get the business side of Justin Fields out of the way. I mean, that's just cooking with gas. Now you don't have to worry. He doesn't have to worry That's one of the good things they did do, because back in the day, in the 90s and 2000s, you'd always have these holdouts over, pennies or hundreds of thousands, and it would ruin some people's careers because it started that relationship off wrong or practicing wrong. So now that you got this done, he can focus on his competition, which I believe that's going to begin day one when they get to Hallis, not Bourbonnais anymore, Hallis. So it's good for this football team, though, that they get him in. He's paid. Everybody knows he's his deal, and he is, obviously, to your point, the future.
I mean, I would say this. I don't want to read into it too much, but I will read into it too much. One, it tells you that he wants to be there. One thing, and this goes back to the slotted situation that you was talking about, Phil, and starting off relationships. Let's not forget a relationship about somebody who's very important to this team not starting off well, and that was Roquan Smith not signing his rookie deal because there was a couple of hangups that he wanted not in his contract as far as of money being cut if something happened and so on and so forth. So you don't even have that situation where you start off on that bad foot, because sometimes it kind of reminds me of the Cubs and Chris Bryant and the fear of control time. Like you don't want to leave a bad taste in a player's mouth where he may want to re-sign with you, but then he thinks back to how you treated him when he initially came into the league. But also, and this is something you hit on, Phil, the rookie contract is the sexiest part of all this. And this is why I kind of didn't want Russell Wilson. Now, I could be wrong, and Justin Fields may never be Russell Wilson. But my fear was always, what are they going to do with a quarterback on his third contract and you're already up against the cap? You're never going to be, and you've given up 3 first-round draft picks. You're never going to be able to surround him with anything because you don't have money and you don't have draft picks. So you're going to be in NFL, I want to say hell, but limbo, basically, I guess is what I should say. Yeah, thank you, Shawn. Purgatory was the word I was looking for with our coming from Catholic school. But when you look at it now, and it's just not defense, what you can do with this kid on his rookie contract and other contracts coming off, if let's say Allen Robinson does walk, or not if he doesn't, you can go out and get you another receiver. That you have 5 years that you have a gap to put money around this kid before you have to pay him. And if you hit on him, whoa, look out. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. One, it's good to see. And lastly, it's good to see Fields already has been in OTAs. But it tells you to the players, like, listen, let's get all the mess out the way and let's get to the business, because I want to get in there and really get to the business as far as being a star on this team. So you like to see it. And as you said before, Shawn, everybody is slotted right now anyway, but you still can have holdouts, just like the Roquan situation. But I'm happy that it didn't happen, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens moving forward with this player and this team.
You guys are we're pretty consistent with it, and that's it. This is where you win. Now you win those starting, because you mentioned Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson was the perfect example of it. He was a 3rd round pick, which means he didn't get anywhere near the type of money that Justin Fields got. So, and he still had a 4-year deal. And Phil, why'd you just leave us, dog? It's messed up. No, but the fact of the matter is they had him under control for 5 years. Okay, and so now you can go get whatever you need. Four,
because he was a 3rd round pick. Yeah,
right. So had him under control for 4 years, and now now the Bears have this guy controlled for 5 years. You can go get what you need. You know exactly how much he's going to cost, and he's not going to cost a lot. Okay, especially if he starts.
As you just said, the bonus is. Think about it. What the base salary is going to be if he just got 11 and the deal was less than 19. That means
less than two a year.
Yeah. So, dude, this right now, if it works, you've hit on something. Especially with this defense, who is still a really good defense. If you can add a couple of little pieces as far as depth that can kind of come up and supplant some of these other guys on this, you really got something if this pick works out, especially if those tackles, if Jenkins works out also, you got something. The only fear is it's NFL, and also Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy hasn't proven to us that he can make a quarterback better.
Yep.
Period.
Matt, he's proven to us that he's petty and he wants to fit people in square pegs into a round hole. Now he's already said that he's going to adjust his offense for around Justin Fields' talent. I'm like, yeah, well, why did you do that with Mitch? But that's another story. But if that's the case, him and Ryan Day are good. They're friends. So I wouldn't be surprised if he said, hey, you know what? Here's let me get a couple of packages that you guys ran at Ohio State that he did well in, and he implements those into his particular into whenever Justin Fields gets in. If he's a backup and a couple of series. But now these are packages that he's comfortable with. These are packages that he's been successful with, and so it's going to help his learning curve. And and again, we have him under control for 5 years. So now's the time to you can see with all the linemen we have, do we have the the right guys? It's perfect. Hey, listen, we got to take a quick break. Hey, Ken. Hey, thanks a lot, buddy. I know I wanted you to stay on a little bit because I like the little wishbone backfield that we have here.
Always, sorry, Shawn was sounding like he was the villain in Inspector Gadget. I couldn't.
I'll get you, Gadget, next time.
I was like, I can't even hear I could hear Ken clearly. I couldn't hear Shawn. I had to bounce out and come back in. Now I can hear everything. So apologize.
We definitely age ourselves when we do stuff like that.
For sure.
Hey, get out there. Any Ronalicious stuff this weekend, Ken?
Yeah, I might be out in the streets doing.
Ken was at the game. I saw him at a White Sox game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the game. Finally, my first game this season, man. Just full of Rona and enjoyed every second of it.
Good.
Hey, you're great stuff, Papa. We'll see you. We'll talk to you on Monday. All right.
You two have a good weekend. Be safe.
All right, guys. All right, Ken.
Hey, we're gonna take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we're gonna definitely have more conversation with my man Phil Atoshin. He is the draft doctor, talking Bears football right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Shit goes downhill. You would think guys would fucking pick up their game, and
they're not going to have a $39 million cap hit for a guy who's not there. Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago. We're back with my guy, the draft doctor himself, Phil Atoshin, who we've been hyping it up, man. We're excited about your trip to Chicago in a couple of months during the football season, and we will be 100% open. The city is opened up today. Today, the city opens up, so there will be 100% of capacity at Wrigley Field. Bars and restaurants, because the Cubs are in town, the Sox are on the road. Bars and restaurants will be at 100% capacity. So by the time you get here, that will be a thing of the past. So that won't be an issue. And just let your wife know that I will not take it easy on her on Galaga, because just so you know, with all due respect, Mrs. Atoshin, with all due respect, all right, it's on.
It's gonna be interesting. It's on like Donkey Kong.
Exactly, baby. Exactly.
Just for Galaga. Yeah, she's ready. I've already told her, we have one of these video game centers with like 3,000 games on it that we bought for the kids, or Santa, bought for the kids, and it ended up becoming our gift. So Steph has some practice ability against you, so she'll be ready. She's going to be prepared. It's going to go down. We'll be covering it live.
And then you talked about trying to go get an Italian beef. I'm like, I can't believe you never had an Italian beef. Like,
I did. I haven't had brats, to be clear. Italian beef I had, but I wasn't a fan. I was like, this is so dry. compared to like a Philly cheesesteak, like with the grilled onions and the cheese.
Oh
So
my
everyone's
God.
telling me you got to dip it or
Yeah.
something like that. There's got.
Yeah.
So
You gotta take. So
I didn't have.
whoever served that to you should not serve that Italian beef ever again.
Ever again.
Exactly.
Ever. Oh
My
my
experience
God.
was like, really? You guys like? I was like,
No, you gotta have it.
legitimate.
Yeah, so there's a couple places. There's Freddy's. Johnny's on in Elmwood Park. That's in a western suburb, adjacent
North
to
Avenue.
the city. To the city.
Yeah.
So it's on North Avenue. It's adjacent to the city. Like 2 blocks. You step outside the city for 2 blocks, and you're at this place, and then come back. But also the original one is Al's. Now, Al's is good. They've gotten much smaller throughout the years, and the price has gone up. But the cool thing about Al's is that it's still a great Italian beef, but then across the street is Mario's, because that was a very big Italian neighborhood back in the day. And so across the street they have Mario's Italian Ice. So you have your Italian beef there, and you walk across the street, and there's always a line. There's always a line at Mario's. Because it's from May to, I think it's May to September. May 1st to September 30th is when they're open. And it's literally it's in someone's front yard, and they built a little shack.
Really?
And this thing, it's been there since I was a kid. So we're talking, 40 plus years, and they haven't just adjusted it. It's just a shack, and they've done some things, made it longer, deeper, but not wider, because they're landlocked. And man, people. My cousin was there the other day, and that's a place to go. So you get your Italian beef, you go across the street, and it's awesome. So Johnny's on North Avenue in Elmwood Park is good, and then Al's.
Yeah, that was the one that Ivan and Zach Pearson were saying. Johnny's.
Yeah, Johnny's. Johnny's is good. There's always a line at Johnny's. I'm telling you, you can go easily.
I just want to experience, and I'll keep it 100. We'll film it. I always say, like, I'll know in 2 bites whether or not something's good in regards to the taste. And I'm a big, I love food. So the hype surrounding the Italian beef the first time, I was like, this is nothing compared to a Philly cheesesteak, which I preferred. So apparently I didn't do it right. So I want to get it right. Same thing with the pizza, the deep dish is the hype, but I guess what do you call it? The parlor pie?
Parlor style.
Parlor style. I'm going to have to try that too. Again, in comparison to what the East Coast and New Haven, Connecticut pizza, as I've talked about many a times, being the best in the world, the Travel Channel, Food Network, and obviously this dude, what is his name? One Bite, whatever this guy, the Barstool guy,
Dave something or other.
Yeah, he's giving New Haven the crown. So I'm gonna hopefully Ivan comes out with you too and bring you guys down to New Haven so you can experience that at some point. But yeah, I want to come to Chicago, try all these things, and really document this whole experience, because you guys are the ones that know. I feel like I was just misled on a touristy type of.
So here's the thing. So now, if you want the full, you want the shit on steroids, then you need to get the combo. So you get it's an Italian sausage mixed with and Italian beef dipped. Do you like sweet peppers or hot peppers? Italian sausage. I'll get, because I just like the Italian sausage, especially with my gout. I can't be eating the beef anymore, and it sucks. But my combo was my go-to for a while, dude. Combo dipped.
Oh, really?
Dipped mozzarella with sweet peppers. That was it. That was my shit, dude.
That was it. To try that, because that's what that sounds like. It sounds good, actually, right? I'm not. That sounds like I would like that, because I like onions grilled. I'm a big fan of that style. So like sausage and peppers to me has to have onions, sausage and peppers. I love that, Italian style like that. So yeah, I want to try it, come out there, experience it with people that I really love and respect. and have a great experience. And last time I brought my wife, well, first time she only had Gibsons and Garrett's, and she was breaking my chops. Like, he didn't even bring me to the real. I don't even know, apparently, what the real. So then the next time we went, we were taken to Illuminati's. And then I heard, okay, well, that's not real Chicago. So I said 30-40% of the vote will tell me, okay, that's real. So I'm going to the trusted people like you, Kenneth, Ivan. I think David Kaplan's bringing us to some restaurant. So we got it's going to be a great weekend. Formally inviting you, and I wanted to invite Kenneth too. October 17th, TTNL is going to be heavy at Soldier Field in the South Lot. We're going to have a TTNL tailgate party. So food, DJ, performances, live show, live post show after the Bears beat the Packers' ass. Should be a lot of fun. So if you're a big football fan of TTNL, and Shawn and Maya, I shouted you guys out Wednesday night, then come on out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're still planning. That's how we want to make this thing real fun, and have a lot of laughs and be a part of something that we consider that we built a family, and you're part of that. So formal invite. Formal invite. Come on and meet.
It's on tape. It's on a tape, and the tape never lies.
That's right. Come meet Ivan and Shawn. Ask Maya. I hope maybe Maya will come out.
That'd be great. That'd be dope.
It'll be
fun.
So
let's talk about these Bears, man. What have you been hearing? I know you had Zach Pearson on the other day, or was it last week? But and I talked with him as well, and he's just like, Justin Fields has got it. He's got it. Like that's it. And and talking with it, and I love it because that is, that's our guy. That's the quarterback of the future, and he's not waiting. And that's the thing that I like. But I also said earlier, I was like, I said, don't sleep on the red rifle. I was like, because everybody's talking about Justin Fields. Everyone's talking, and rightfully so. Let's not get it twisted. He is the quarterback of the future, and arguably he's the best quarterback coming out of the draft, depending on who you talk to. Okay, and he's the guy who's going to take us, into to another couple of levels, not the next level, a few levels. He's going to raise us to. But Andy Dalton's no joke. And I'm sure I'm not sure. I'm positive he's a competitive guy coming from Texas, and he's like, okay, I'm going to show you what I can do, which is great for us because all it means is competition. Because if he's performing and Justin Fields is performing, and then he's performing and Justin Fields is performing, then you know what? I'm looking forward to it. And all I'm saying is, don't sleep on Andy Dalton. As much as I want Justin Fields to go in and become a Pro Bowler his first game, it's not going to happen. Watch for Andy Dalton. He's a KG veteran. He's getting $10 million now. He's the second highest paid quarter. Actually, he might even be the third. I got to check. Ivan, can you do me a favor? Check Nick Foles' contract. What he's getting paid this year? Because now he might even be the third highest paid quarterback on the team. Who knows? But I think I think he's going to have a really, really solid season. And the more competition that's there, it's only good for the Bears.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to understand. Zach had his eyes on it, so I really trust Zach in the fields department where you're recognizing the difference. And when we posted that question about Trubisky,
the base is 4 million. Sorry, Phil. The base is about at 4 million.
Okay, so Foles is the third highest paid quarterback. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, the understanding that somebody isn't content. So sometimes you get in here and you get paid, your place, and then you're content. When you have a quarterback or any kind of player that wants to strive to the best, and like you said, build competition, then you get to levels that you can't reach. I've always experienced it. If I didn't coach and I didn't play and experience this, I wouldn't preach it or talk about it. I've seen kids that couldn't even get in a stance by the end of the season become phenomenal football players beyond anything and grow and mature in ways their family couldn't even grasp. It is the ultimate game. So when you get to each level of competition, how are you wired? And Justin Fields, from the moment we saw him answer those questions draft night to his, I'll just say, my feeling of disappointment that he didn't get drafted higher, that something Tom Brady, who's 43 years old, has Super Bowl rings on every finger, he still has that drive from draft day. So there's certain people that are wired a certain way that are only going to lead towards them doing battle to get to the best of their abilities. And when you bring Andy Dalton into the equation, my father's always said and taught me, and then I've learned that there's some truth to this. Redheads, they're like always overlooked, but they're like those tough son of a bitches that just have something. And everywhere Andy's been, he's kind of been labeled as just a guy. He's never really, and obviously when he went to Dallas, he came in as a backup because he was a post-draft cut. So the free agent market had already been set. I'm certain there was other teams that would have wanted Andy Dalton to come in and start, including this team. So you look at him in this role, which I don't think he's been, even in Cincinnati, he was just the guy. He was Justin Fields at one point drafted. So I believe what I see on tape of Andy Dalton says that's an improvement over what we've had at quarterback for the last 6 years. So to see how this is going to play itself out, it has to do exactly what Shawn said. It's just going to make the Chicago Bears better. And that is a position that we've never had good to great quarterback play. You saw flashes with Cutler. And believe me, I defended Cutler and I watched Cutler. And God, if he created a quarterback, he created Cutler. But Cutler didn't have it up here and in here where his heart. And not a time, well, Cutler was tough as hell, no doubt. But there's a lot more that goes into the heart than toughness. The heart is also a leader and a compassionate person who's going to go out of his way for his teammates. And that just doesn't end on the offensive side of the football. It goes throughout the whole roster because you essentially are the leader of the entire football team. And Jay just never relished in that role. And I learned a valuable lesson, too, in watching Jay Cutler, because it doesn't matter how talented you are. If you're not playing for everybody and everything, and this is why we loved Russell Wilson, me and you, it's because I know every time he goes on that football field, he's playing for the kicker, the punter, the long snapper, and everybody that goes out there, and they feel that. And I think that's what you're getting, not only from Justin Fields, who's a rookie, hasn't done it, but Andy Dalton.
One of the things that people forget, and you mentioned that, is, and this is from people, that who are on the team and who are very close to the team. The defense didn't like Cutler. They didn't even know, they didn't like him because he was a pretty boy quarterback, good-looking guy, quarterback with the cannon arm. And this, they really thought, and this is Urlacher, Briggs, and Peanut Tillman, and all these guys, and they felt that he was going to take their shine away from the defense, and he was going to make Chicago an offensive team. And they really didn't like him initially. I think they tolerated him at the end, but there was a lot of jealousy that people that I know who were really close to the situation, jealousy about Cutler because he was the golden child. The Chicago Bears
acted like it too.
Oh, and he did. Oh, he acted like
and
he did.
That is what separated them. I mean, ask anybody to a man on the Tampa Bay Bucks what they think of Tom Brady on any position. Everybody knows he's the GOAT. Granted, he's earned that shit. So we got to think of somebody else to give you an example. But when you come in here as a prima donna and you've done dick for your team, that can separate and segregate a locker room. There's already cliques in there. That's already in every locker room. There's a clique of guys. You saw it with Anthony Miller, Javon Wims, Josh Bellamy, Gold Fronts, posting up. You saw these cliques being formed. That's where the head coach has to break down some of these barriers, put people in place, hold people accountable, throw it up on the board. Charles Leno, whoever it is, effing up, the biggest Khalil Mack's screwing up. Once you approach that in front of the team, everybody's on the same level playing field. And we had Ryan Nall on the show with us, and he kind of just reiterated what one of the players said in one of their pressers. I can't remember, but Ryan Nall on our show was basically, this is the first year Coach Nagy has gone up on the board in front of everybody and started calling people out. And oh, by the way, it was called Good, Bad, and the Ugly, which is what I call the tape never lies every week. It just coincidentally was that, Shawn. So, but it was imperative that you get that message as a coach that's learning how important that is to hold your players accountable and have an expectation. Because you know what? You know this, and I think you've said it before on our show. Players want discipline. Players need discipline. And if you're not giving that and setting that tone, then you're just going to allow a locker room to get run over. And you can't allow that to happen. Unfortunately, in this society, in this world full of you-know-whats out there, ignorant, bigots, whatever, on every level, it doesn't matter. You will lose. Once you lose that locker room, once you've lost that, then you've lost everything. So when I look at this football team, I feel confident. And you can say whatever it is you want about Nick Foles. I just don't think Nick Foles is a commanding presence that Andy Dalton and I believe obviously Justin Fields, you're already getting those quotes. My boy David Montgomery speaking on Justin Fields, you just hear in his wow, just blown away by the young man's ability, but also his focus and his drive and his leadership. You were hearing that about Mitch. You just weren't. And anything that kind of you heard about Mitch was from a clique, if you follow what I'm saying. It wasn't a universal creed. So I know there's a lot of Mitch fans there, but I really believe the one thing he lacked is self-confidence. Mm-hmm. And I know you and I both agree Matt Nagy did him no justice, and I'll die on that sword. But at some point, you as a player, you're your brand. You have to do it for yourself. You have to do the work. You have to pay those bills and make those sacrifices. And the great Walter Payton and George Halas actually had the quote. It's not what you do when everyone's looking. It's what you do when no one's looking that separates you from the rest of the pack. And I have always believed that and preached that myself to my players and people that I'm around, because anybody could talk about it. Anybody could talk about it. I want to see the proof in the pudding. And at the end of the day, all these narratives, gossip hounds, blog boys, they're all writing their stories irregardless. So go out there, do the work, get ready, and you got to be excited. If you're a Chicago Bears fan and you're not excited about the season, I don't know what to tell you, because I really believe when you look at it on paper, they have one of the more talented rosters in the NFC North, and they've really improved themselves at the quarterback and offensive tackle position, where I felt they were the weakest. Now they've rearranged that and did a 180. So that's where I am in regards to all of that. So
You know, I'm really excited about this offensive line. You know,
Yes.
Sam Mustafa was talking yesterday, and just getting back out of the grass is, Matt Nagy. And I don't like to quote Matt Nagy much, but it's a term that I've heard before. We're getting on the grass. It's a whole different story, And I know a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
guys weren't there on the defensive side of the ball, and they didn't have to be. It was voluntary, and we all have college degrees or attended college, so we know what voluntary means. But the thing is, like the majority, everyone except A-Rob is there on the offense, and coming off a year when you couldn't gather. I thought that was so important. You being an O-line coach, your dad being an O-line coaching specialist, understand the importance of having, if nothing else, getting those 5 people to dance to the same tune. Okay, because if you
Absolutely.
can, then it's going to make everybody else. It makes everybody else's job easier, and having physical time. Not Zoom, not let's take our step and we
Exactly.
see. That is so important, and I think and I've mentioned it last week, and I'm going to mention it, and I've mentioned it again today. Was competition. You got 4 guys for those 2 guards in the center slot, right? You got 4 people who can play there, right? You got 4 people for the tackle slots, for 2 tackle spots. You're creating competition, and at the most important positions, and that's the offensive line. Because I don't care who you are, if you can't throw touchdown passes from your ass, okay, and you can't run. Ask David Montgomery how not having a good offensive line, affected his game. So you've mentioned it before that they're actually looking like and making sound football decisions. Something that we haven't seen from this organization in I don't ever, maybe
Right. Well,
vaguely.
Vanisi, when he was the GM back and
Jerry
building that,
Vinci.
yeah, when he was building the offensive line and the defensive lines, it just so happened that 2 years after he did that, they went to the Super Bowl and won. I mean, it's football is cliche for a reason. It all starts up front, is as true as it is then as it is now. And
Hey
when
Phil,
you start,
we got a question here from our guy
yeah,
Factor. So let's see.
you'll have to read it because I
Got you.
can't see.
Oh, okay. I haven't put it up, and it says. So he says, "Who do you guys think will take the biggest jump in play next season, most improved?" He says he thinks Allen Robinson will ball out with Fields at quarterback.
Well, Allen's already been a great football player, so that's 2-part. You're making a statement, my man, factor 1, and I agree. I'm interested to see Allen Robinson. I don't like the fact that he's not there. I think it just doesn't sit well with me, especially when you got the rookie quarterback and you got a new quarterback. You signed your fucking contract, your franchise tag. So get out there and be with your team and represent that you want to be here and catch the wave of excitement that should be. It's the same thing that you're saying on the defense not being there. But to answer his question, the most improved football player that I think is going to be David Montgomery without a doubt, because I think with the offensive issues you had on the offensive line last year, you saw the success down the stretch when he became not more of a focal point, but the offensive line started to get a little bit of cohesion. David was able to show up and show out if given the opportunity. And I think now with Juan Castillo, clear fingerprints on the selection of the guys that they did, and Borum and Jenkins, and Fetty. Zach said, Phil, Fetty looks phenomenally in shape, ready to go. You get a Fetty into the competition, and he's versatile enough to slide into guard. So now Borum, if he wins out, you could put a Fetty, who you paid, inside at guard. Now you got you could move Daniels to center, where my boy Olin Kreutz said this kid could be the best center of all time. There's also a guy on there. I mean, He said he could be the best Bears center all time. That was his quote to us. And the best one in the league. That's a guy that's played the position. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. But I think to answer him, David Montgomery is going to be something special this year. And did you hear David's quotes? My son loves David, and they've kind of built a little relationship. So this isn't coming from my bias. Because of that, just to clarify, it's just coming from David being more vocal and David having something to prove. When he comes out there and says, it's not a chip, it's actually a boulder on my shoulder now. This guy already runs angry every single down. Now, if you get a motivated, angry David Montgomery with something to prove to everybody, I'm signing up on him each and every time, and he would be my choice.
Yeah, I agree. Him being motivated is great. Who do I think is going to have the biggest year or the breakout player?
Yeah,
I think it's going to be Darnell Mooney.
That was my second choice.
Yeah, and I just think that this guy's ready. Week one, he's got a little beef. He's going to have to settle with Jalen Ramsey. They've been talking a lot of ish. I like the way he downplayed it and kind of ignored it when he was posed the question the other day. He's like, you know what? There's a lot of good defensive backs we got to play. I'm just looking forward to playing all of them. So he's not he's not feeding into that because it's really the fans. It's really the fans that got Jalen Ramsey, and Jalen Ramsey got mad because his little sensitive ass. Like, come on, dude. These are fans. Let it go. And so he's talking about it. Darnell was like, dude, it's not me versus you. It's us versus your team. And that's the way you got to look at it. And part of it's going to have to be you beating him at particular points of the game. So, I just hope that this guy, in addition to Fry and Marquise, who's the other wide receiver they drafted? Goodwin. Yeah.
Goodwin.
Yeah, those guys. I think
Bird. Got the kid Bird coming over from they've got some speed there.
So yeah, but I think Darnell Mooney really steps out, and it's gonna be fun, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing who starts. That's for beginners. Who's gonna start? Does Justin Fields win the job, outright? Because if he does, wow.
Yeah. That's going to be the story of Cam. I mean, obviously, every day. That's the thing, Shawn. Our boy, Greg Braggs, I asked him the question, can you reach out to your people there? And it's been confirmed that fans are going to be able to be coming to Hallis Hall. So I got to get you over there, bro. There's no other eyes I trust. Get up in there.
I'll holler at my guy. Only problem is there's not a lot of room. Hallis Hall, it's built for pressers. They have a nice little buddy of mine works for PNC Bank, and they're the official sponsor of the Bears. So he took us to the they had a watch party 2 years ago.
Well, they built this new extension in all these fields. They don't have enough room.
No.
Sit them up. They better put some bleachers up by the trains.
Yeah, so it's literally the two buildings. They build the extension to the building, and they have two fields. So it's not as elaborate, as gorgeous as you think. They have the Walter Payton Center, and they have the building with the new extension on it. It's just literally those two, and then the two fields side by side, and with the Walter Payton Center, the indoor facility. So it's not as we think of Hallis Hall, and like, oh my God, it's going to be luxurious and rolling greens, and no.
Yeah,
it's not.
Someone told me there was like 3 new fields for them, so they need to understand. Then obviously, me and you talked a little bit about this. There is no other grander advice other than the tackle and the quarterback position that I can give them than to be accessible to your fans. If you become this closed-in castle, this corporate-run world of organization, then you lose your credibility, and really they need to rethink what it is they're doing. And a $1 billion business, to your point, Shawn, can make room because you've decided that you've taken training camp from Bourbonnais to Hallis Hall, then you better be preparing yourself. Like, you don't move Disney and not have anywhere to park. It's just, come on. It's like they're supplying you. You don't have millions of dollars without the fans, and billions rather. So allow this to happen. Okay, you want to move this? Like the New England Patriots moved their training camp. It used to be at Springfield College. My father and I would roll up there once a year and check them out. Now they moved it to Gillette, their stadium. They have practice fields right around their stadium. Guess what? Mm-hmm. They've made sure there's access and bleachers and games and things for kids, all of that to embrace their fan base, give back. If the Chicago Bears pull this closed-in training camp, what have you, and we're going to travel to some random high school in Illinois for a weekend, then they're doing it wrong again. They just can't get it right. So I'm hoping that they're going to open it up, give 7,000 fans access every day, 8,000, whatever your cap is, but it's got to be up there. It can't be, we're going to allow 600 fans to come in. It's just,
no, it's going to be
ridiculous.
Small. I'll find out and I don't know if
Please,
I don't even know if we're going to hit 1,000.
Oh my God.
It's Ivan, when you get
that is the dumbest thing.
Put that up real quick. Here's a picture. Here, put that up. I just emailed you something. So there's a picture. There's a picture of Hallis Hall with the new extension. It's like a big L. The two fields there. Now, unless they built, you'll see it when we pull it up. But to the left of that is where you can't see. That's where the Walter Payton Center is, and that's the indoor facility. But it's not big. I was really disappointed the very first time I was up there. I was like, oh man, like this is it. So there it is. So that's the facility. Those two fields. Unless they built another field to the right of that, okay, which is possible. I haven't been up there, but if they haven't, then those are the two fields that they use. And the Walter Payton Center is to the left of that particular screen. So, that's not.
So do you think it's gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna allow fans at like $5,000 a ticket? You know what I mean? Like, are they gonna?
No, they're
gonna bring select fans in?
They're going to do that corporate crap where, John Smith and Jerry Jones of whatever CEO.
American Airlines.
They get to go with their family. That shit just does not play well. You got to open it up to Ivan, to Phil, to Mike, whoever. Barlissimo coming across the pond. That's the way you do it. The Jets do it. The Giants do it. All of these fans, the Steelers do it. What are you doing? You've made this move now. You've made this move. Now you've also made the move of getting the young future of your franchise. And every little kid in Illinois and wherever else, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, wants to see it. And they can't afford a game ticket. This is what it's always been. It's been one of the most brilliant things about the NFL always. And my uncle, obviously, Sam Rutigliano, they would have their training camps, and he made sure give those fans 30 minutes. We'll come a little bit later in the afternoon on a double. Give those fans 30 minutes. Go out there, sign as many autographs, shake as many hands, kiss as many babies. That's how you do it.
That's how you build a culture.
You build a culture. Exactly. And again, we'll see. We'll see how they do it. Hopefully, we've changed a lot of things, you and I and some other shows and stuff, where I know they listen. So I'm just giving them advice. You're making a huge mistake. You had a great thing in Bourbonnais, and granted, whatever deal, whatever it costs, you have billions. You can take a loss for that.
It's a write-off. Sure, that's the write-off.
Yeah,
so it's not even a loss.
Exactly.
So, I think that that was that could be a bad move. I just think that would have been the best thing for, especially with Justin Fields now. Even
Oh
if
my
if
God.
you delayed it for 1 year and went to Bourbonnais for 1 year, we say, hey, you know
Holy
what? We
shit.
decided to go to Bourbonnais for 1 more year.
They would
Blah,
have
blah, blah,
tripled.
blah.
There would
Oh,
be 50,000 people there a day, or
easily.
30,000 would be an easy shot.
Mhm.
And you would have, and they would bring your concessions, bring your T-shirts, and you're
Oh yeah. Oh,
you're
they
gonna
did.
be making.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they
They
know that.
did.
You're
They
gonna
did.
win. You're gonna win there, but don't sit there and isolate this Hallis Hall shit.
Oh, you
Because
know what
Ryan
they should
Pace
have
had a
done?
plan.
What they should have done, as I told you, all they would need 2 semi trucks just full of jerseys. That's it. Jerseys
Oh
and
my
T-shirts
God.
with Justin Fields, with David Montgomery, and just have, because I guarantee you, in that time that they're there, they would sell out.
Oh,
They would
absolutely. I
sell out.
totally agree. It's the
Sell out.
hottest selling jersey, and
Number
people are excited. You've
Yeah.
done it. Take your lap. We could go
Yeah.
on for another hour talking about this, but
Yeah, it's the number 3, 4, and 5 jerseys, dude. It's after Tim Tebow's 2 different color jerseys, the white, the orange, and the blue, are 3, 4 of Justin Fields are number 3, 4, and 5 top selling jerseys. So it's crazy. I know you got to run, Papa, and I appreciate it. And but do me a favor, real quick, let everyone know where they can find you.
you can always find me on the gram, as Shawn says. At Phil _ Otoshin, as you can see, as well as the Tape Never Lies Network. You can become a patron right there. www.thetapeneverlies.com for a lot more analysis. Me and my father are going to be breaking down the center position this weekend, Shawn.
No
On
way.
X's with the O's. Yeah. Going to break down Sam versus my guy. He's going to be my center of choice, Dieter Eisland, out of Yale. And I'm going to show you why this Sunday. So if you want those kind of coaches clinic and you're a tape head, you like football analysis and breakdowns, become a patron. I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about that battle. There's so many battles in camp that we haven't seen before. We've just seen positions given. The center position is one of those. A lot of these blog boys are giving it to Sam. You know me. I'm watching the tape. I'm going to show you why Dieter Eisland has a fighter's chance at being the Bears center.
Hey, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it, man. And you and the family have a great weekend. What's the temperatures going to be like this weekend out there?
It's going to be 70s, 80s. Today is nice and cool. It's 73, 74 today. It's been 98, 90. It's so hot. But 73 and gorgeous today. And my daughter graduating tonight, so hopefully it'll stay like this. No rain. Finally get a weekend I can just sit by the pool.
So it's 91 today, 90 tomorrow, 90 Sunday. All weekend it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot.
You better get to the Chicago beaches.
It's either that, you know what? And I thought about doing that. I actually thought about driving down to Michigan because I got people in Michigan, about a 2-hour drive, just right around the other side of the lake. But this is the first open weekend in Chicago. So like I talked about today, full capacity Wrigley Field. Exactly. So I'm like, you know what? I ain't trying to whoop nobody's ass who gets stupid and shit. So I'm like, maybe I got a good friend of mine has a pool, so I might just go hang out at the yard. The sun's the same. I'll still get tan, so I might just do that. And I don't
Too bad you guys aren't close. You could come over to the Toshins and barbecue out and chill out. I always miss that. All right.
Yeah. All right, man. We'll talk soon, man. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it. We'll holler at you next week, Papa.
All right, boys. Love you guys. All right, Ivan.
Big dog.
Later.
Later.
All right. Guys, 3 hours has come and gone.